My name is Sam Cohen. My company is called Amazon Consulting Experts. We're located in Ocean, New Jersey. Um, First, I want to thank the staff here at Retail Global. It's been an incredible show so far. We've learned a lot here, and we've met a lot of great people here. So I want to thank Phil, Helena, Sam, Emma, Ben, Brian, and the rest of the Retail Global team for being tremendous hosts at this great event. Round of applause, everybody. I want to thank my staff back home and those that made the trip here with me, Maria and Daniel. We have Jay, Ike, Jackie, Neil, Irene, Michael, Sylvia, Pablo, Chris, Sean, Berto, and the rest of our staff. And the reason I mention them is because they're all an integral part of what we do. I'm not a public speaker. I don't have any PowerPoint presentations. I just came here to share my story and hopefully inspire some people that are here. For those of you that don't know what I do, we're one of the top sellers on Amazon.com. We have sales this year exceeding $20 million, and we're looking to go to the next level, which is $100 million, and we hope to get there in the next 2 to 3 years. We also started a company about a year ago, July of 2015, called Amazon Consulting Experts, and we teach people how to make money selling on Amazon. So I know there's a lot of you in here that do sell on Amazon, or you want to sell on Amazon, or you've thought about selling on Amazon, or you used to sell on Amazon. It is the greatest platform in the world for third-party sellers, in my humble opinion. We do 100% FBA, which is fulfillment by Amazon, and it's allowed us to grow our company to $20 million with less than 20 employees. So we leverage Amazon's fulfillment, and it's been a tremendous ride the last 5.5 years. Back in 2008, 2009, I was working for a big electronics company in New York called Hire America, and I was making 6 figures, and we got word from the Chinese parent company that anybody who was making 6 figures was either going to get fired or get a tremendous pay cut. So the writing was on the wall, and I was looking for other options, and I left the company in 2009, and for the next 2 years, it was a struggle. So 2009, 2010 was a struggle. I did everything from street fairs to flea markets to wholesale deals to trying to sell on eBay. And in March of 2011, I decided I was going to try to sell on eBay again. And I used to sell on eBay many, many years ago. And I attempted to sell 1,000 DVDs in one shot on eBay. And I had a customer email me asking me, what the contents of the 1,000 units was, and how many of them were each title. And when I let him know, he said, oh, basically most of these are inexpensive DVDs that are not worth, what you're charging for them. So we had a conversation, and I asked him where he was selling these, and he mentioned, I thought maybe he was selling them individually on eBay or selling them in a flea market or something. And he basically told me that he had 3 kids working for him, and they were getting $8 an hour, and he was selling 1,000 DVDs a month on Amazon. At that point in March of 2011, I didn't even know you could sell on Amazon. So I started Googling, how do you sell on Amazon? There wasn't a lot of information out there. There weren't any teachers out there. And it really took me a full 6 months to figure out what the heck I was doing on Amazon. We started selling merchant fulfilled in March of 2011. We instantly started doing about $25,000 a month. And it literally took me 6 months to figure out how to do FBA. And once we flipped that switch in October of 2011, we started doing $100,000 a month. And it's only grown from there to today, where we do well over $1 million a month on Amazon. We're doing Amazon International, and we're doing a lot of private label. We're doing a lot of different things on Amazon now, and it's a tremendous marketplace, and it's a tremendous opportunity. I just want to discuss how we got from zero to where we are today. There's a lot of different things that we learned either through trial and error or through, really thinking things through. Um, there's many things that you could do for your business, both in the short term and the long term. And I think if you have a long-term mindset, you'll be much more successful. So everything we did, or everything I did from day one, was trying to figure out, how do we automate, how do we delegate, how do we outsource, how do we scale, how do we make this into a $100 million a year company. And when we went in with that mindset, we learned a lot of things that we can, delegate, outsource, automate. We learned how to do things, scale things up. We learned how to do processing, logistics, infrastructure, different technology, different software. So there's a lot of things that we learned where we realized we don't have to do everything ourselves. When I say we, I started myself, and I quickly, took me a while to convince my wife to come join me in the company because she didn't know what it was at the time, and it really made a big difference in our ability to move forward. She made sure the internet stayed on, and she made sure the bills got paid, and I was busy buying and selling. So a lot of what we do is we're very resourceful. We don't spend a lot of money where we don't have to. We don't have a tremendous payroll. We don't have a massive warehouse. And a lot of that is just keeping that mindset of you don't need all the resources in the world to succeed. You just need to be resourceful. So some of the things that have helped me succeed, and hopefully I could share them here with you and they'll help you succeed, is I'm very open-minded to new opportunities. We're always willing to adapt to whatever the marketplace is telling us. We're always willing to evolve. We're always looking to change up what we're doing if that's what the current landscape is telling us. We do a ton of reading. We do a ton of research. We do a ton of repositioning and repurposing merchandise. And we do a lot of different things that are outside the box of what normal conventional companies do. So we do retail arbitrage, we do online arbitrage, we do wholesale, we do closeouts and liquidations, and we do private label. We also use tons of proprietary software that we have available to our clients as well, and it really helps us take advantage of the current marketplace. Just to speak about ACE for a second, ACE is the acronym for Amazon Consulting Experts. We had a 98% success rate with the initial 100 clients that we took last year, and we had a 95% renewal rate, which means that all the clients that were in the first year, 95% of them re-upped for the second year, because as everyone here knows, Amazon's a very dynamic marketplace. Things are always changing, and there's always new ways to monetize the Amazon platform. We've invested tens of thousands of hours into learning our business. And we want to be able to share that with clients because there's a lot of misinformation out there. There's a lack of information out there. There's bad information out there, and that really affects everybody's ability to earn a living for their family. So we're all on the same path. We're all looking to achieve the same goals, whether it's financial freedom or freedom of time or freedom of choice or whatever your goals and dreams are. We all have the same ones for ourselves and our loved ones. I'm a big believer of practicing the abundance mentality, which is sharing and giving and helping other people succeed. We're not selfish. We don't keep things to ourselves. We don't, hoard information or hoard products. And it's really served us well because in our community that we built, we have now 200 clients, and each one of them gets back 200 times what they put into it. So if you're sharing with someone, if you're helping someone, you get paid back in spades. And I think a lot of people in this business and other businesses are very secretive, and they feel if they share information that's going to help someone else, that somehow it's going to hurt them. I could tell you with absolute certainty that's not the case. Our business has grown by leaps and bounds, about 150% in the last 15 months since we started the consulting business. So it couldn't be further from the truth. I used to be someone that, before I started this business 5.5 years ago, I used to be someone that was always trying to chase money and chase success. And at some point, I realized that I had to become more valuable myself so that I could attract money and attract success. And I think that's a big distinction that I learned at the ripe old age of 38. We have an attitude of gratitude. We're very thankful for what we have. We're very thankful for the opportunity to sell on Amazon. It is a blessing. It's a privilege. It should not be, considered lightly. And it's really the greatest platform in the world for us. And it's really allowed us to do things that we couldn't do with a standalone website or with any other marketplace that we've seen. So I want to open it up to anyone. I know there's a lot of Amazon sellers in the room. If anyone has any questions that I can answer. Right now we're running two different businesses. We have our Amazon business, which sustains us, and we have our consulting business, which fulfills us. There's nothing greater than being able to change someone's life, being able to change someone's financial position, being able to help people that have lost jobs or lost homes. We had a client last year who came to us. His house was foreclosed on and he couldn't find a job. And he came to us and he took a loan from a family member. It was less than $20,000 that he started with. And he said, "I'm here for you to teach me." And whatever we told him to do, he did. And this guy, God bless him, he worked his ass off. And he's currently doing about $150,000 to $200,000 a month in gross sales on Amazon. So when it came time for year two, he's like, I want to speak at your conference. I want to, you need any recommendations? You need anyone wants to speak to a client? Let me know. I'm here to say that you changed my life. And it's really a blessing for us to be able to do that. We have clients that homeschool their kids, and they need to find ways to make money without going and getting a job. And we have a lot of opportunities to help people. We opened a brick and mortar retail store. We now have access to hundreds and hundreds of wholesale accounts that we wouldn't have access to if we didn't have a brick and mortar retail store. We have online arbitrage lists. We have retail arbitrage lists. We have wholesale contacts. We have pretty much everything you would want in developing your Amazon business. So with that, I'm going to open it up. If anyone has any questions, I'll do my best to answer. And we can go from there. Yes?
So using the example of the fellow who went through or almost got foreclosed on, just talk a little bit about the specifics of the way that your team assisted this individual?
Sure. So he did get foreclosed on. He's actually a grandfather, and he's about 50-something years old. And he was a successful salesman in a past life. And he was having a hard time, getting a job that would pay him what he needs to make, which is probably about $150,000 a year. So he took a loan of less than $20,000 from a family member, and he came to us and he said, "I want you to teach me the Amazon business. I've heard about it, but I'm not sure what to do." And we literally sat with him in office, on the phone, over the computer. We do one-on-one coaching. We do webinars. We do in-office visits to our headquarters in New Jersey. 1 week out of every month, we have clients converging from all over the world. And we single-handedly taught him every single trick of the trade that we know about Amazon. And when I say trick of the trade, obviously it's within the terms of service and full compliance of Amazon. But we literally taught him step by step everything there is to know, from how to get the buy box, how to analyze sales data, how to look at sales rank, how to calculate your ROI, what to buy, what not to buy, why you're buying these, how many you're buying, and a million other variables that go into sourcing for Amazon. Then we took him and we taught him all the different software that we use, from repricers to inventory management to listing creation software to shipment creation software to online arbitrage software. And then we took him and we taught him processing and logistics and infrastructure and prepping and shipping to Amazon FBA. We've taught them accounting and bookkeeping and reconciling, and right now we handle for all our clients, we handle all the tedious stuff of Amazon: the returns, the refunds, the reimbursements, the shipment reconciliations, the stranded inventory, the suppressed inventory, the unfulfillable inventory, all the fun stuff that people either don't deal with or they pay someone to deal with. We deal with that for our clients. So it's more like account management, but it's still your company, it's still your business, and we just help you with the stuff that most people either don't do or pay someone to do. So does that answer your question? No problem. Anyone else have any questions? Yes, sir. Sure. So we started in our one-bedroom apartment. It was me, myself, and I. We started with DVDs that I was getting on consignment from a friend of mine who said, "Here, take these and pay me when they sell, or take these and pay me when you get back on your feet." I was literally broke 6 years ago. And once we started doing some business on Amazon, we realized we need an office, we need a warehouse outside of our one-bedroom apartment. So obviously we didn't have money at the time, so we found an office inside of someone else's office. It was literally a 10 by 10 room, and we agreed to pay the guy $200 a month to use that 10 by 10 office. It was just something that it was outside of the apartment. And we brought the DVDs to the office, and there were stacks and stacks of DVDs. And every time we sold one, we had to go on a scavenger hunt to find the one that we sold, because it was all in boxes. So we said, okay, after a week, we realized this is not going to work. We go to the landlord of that building, and we said, hey, we need our own space. And he's like, well, I need credit references and trade references. I'm like, look, I don't have that, Tell me what I need to do to take this space. And he's like, listen, you seem like a good guy. You seem like you're struggling. You seem like you're trying to get back on your feet. I'll rent you the space. Give me a month's security, and I'll put my name on it. Like, I convinced the guy to rent me the space, even though I had no credit or I didn't even have money at the time. And we agreed to pay, I think it was like $600 a month. And we knew that by taking that space, we'd have a lot more room to operate. And when we went to sign the lease on the space, we went to inspect the space, and there was a Zebra LP 2844 printer on the floor, for those of you that know what that is. And I said to him, and it was a $200-300 printer, brand new. And I said to him, can we have that printer? He says, well, if you sign the lease, it's yours. It was left here by the last tenant. And we still use that printer till today, 6 years later. So it's pretty cool. And then when we outgrew that space, we just kept moving into a little bit bigger space. Probably it wasn't the best idea, because my wife wanted to divorce me. We moved 5 times in 5 years in our business, and she wasn't happy about that. But I think we learned not to go crazy with our expenses. And my wife was, she's got a master's degree from NYU in social work, so she had a very well-paying job when I started this crazy business. And I tried to convince her to join me, and she's like, are you out of your mind? I have a very good salary. That's what's paying our bills right now while you try this crazy idea of yours. And there's no way I'm leaving my job, otherwise we'll be screwed. And I was like, no, you have to do it. I'm telling you, this thing is real. It's growing. I need your help. I need your help. I need your help. And finally, after a few months, I convinced her to come. And that was the exact same time that we started doing FBA. So sales literally quadrupled from $25,000 a month to $100,000 a month overnight. Those two things, my wife coming on board and FBA. And she's a drill sergeant. She made sure every single DVD got labeled the right way. She made sure everything got out to Amazon. She made sure the bills got paid. She made sure, everything was being done to grow the business other than buying and selling. Then we realized that we needed more help because business was growing very quickly. So the first thing we did was we said, okay, which part of this business is making us the most money? And we realized that it was the sourcing of new products or the sourcing of products in general. And we realized that if we outsourced and trained someone to do the prepping and the labeling and the shipping, which is something you could pretty easily teach someone, and you could pay someone $10 an hour, then we would have more time to focus on the things that make us a lot more than $10 an hour. So when I look at my time, my time is worth $500 an hour. So 10 hours a day is $5,000 a day. 52 weeks a year, 200 days a year, that's $1 million, right? So if you're doing work that's $10 an hour work, then you're costing yourself money. So very often I have times where I have clients that say to me, I tell clients, why don't you get someone to prep your goods for Amazon? And their response is, why would I pay someone $10 an hour when I could do it myself for free? And my answer to that is, it's not only is it not free, but it's costing you a lot more than $10 an hour. Because we all have a finite amount of time. We all have limited time and energy and resources. So why would you do $10 an hour work when you could be sourcing and that's earning you hundreds of dollars an hour? Or developing relationships, or developing a brand, or finding new products, or bringing new products to market, or whatever it does that propels your business to the next level. It's definitely not shipping to FBA. That's not going to change your business. Obviously, you want to do it effectively and efficiently, but that's not what's going to get you to that next level. So everything we did was, how do we automate? How do we delegate? How do we outsource? How do we scale? How do we implement software? How do we implement technology? How do we, put an infrastructure in place? How do we get better at logistics? We have a warehouse now, not to brag, but no matter how much product we buy, it goes out to Amazon within 24 to 48 hours. No matter how much prep work, no matter how much, we could buy 62 pallets of an item, we get it out within 48 hours. And that comes from years and years of learning and trial and error and logistics and software and technology, and we share all that with our clients. And I think if you have the mindset that you're going to be a $100 million company, you'll get there a lot faster than, do I need to hire someone for $10 an hour? I could just do it myself, So I think having that mentality of thinking big, and I'm a dreamer, and, a lot of people have called me crazy in my life. I'm not one that typically plays by the rules. I'm not one that typically follows instructions too well. But I think that served me well in this business because I didn't have the fear. We speak to hundreds of sellers a week. Some are clients, some are potential clients, some are never going to be clients. And what I found most interesting is that there's so many people in this business and in every business, and I'm not above this, but in this business I happen to have figured some things out. They're so afraid to fail that they give themselves no chance to succeed. So they're so afraid of making a mistake. Now, obviously, you don't want to make a mistake that gets you suspended for life from Amazon, but they're so afraid of making a buying decision or doing something, hiring someone, or taking a small warehouse, that they really give themselves no chance to succeed. So I think if you eliminate a lot of that fear and you envision a big, successful, profitable company, you'll get there a lot faster. Because when you set goals and when you have dreams, you can think about them, but they're not going to come true. You can prepare for them, but they're not going to. Once you start taking action, there's a quote from Emerson. It says, once you take massive action, or I'm paraphrasing, the universe conspires to make it happen. So you have to go in with that attitude. And a lot of it is psychology, and a lot of it is attitude. There is execution, there is skill, there is technology, there is certain skill sets that you need to learn and you need to expand upon. Obviously people who have great math skills, people who have great leadership skills, people who have great computer skills, people who know how to build relationships. Those are the people that are going to do better in this business. But we have clients that are extreme introverts, and they do very well as well. So it really depends on your particular skill sets, on your particular, life situation. Some people are very risk averse. Some people are very risk tolerant. Some people, you know, can do certain things better than anyone else. We have clients, and we have about 200 clients. Each one of them is amazing at certain things, and we try to channel that into their business so they can monetize it and leverage it. And I think that's the best part of what we do. Yes, sir.
Over that 5 years, how long was it before you got your official retail address? And how much revenue would you say you attribute to having got a retail address? And how long do you think it'll take you to get to 100 million?
So this year, if everything goes according to plan, which I guarantee you it won't, we expect to do $20 million by the end of Q4. We believe we can get to 50 and then 100 in the next 2 years. The stretch goal is 3 years. With regards to the retail store, obviously a lot of you have run into the problem of calling manufacturers and they say, well, unless you have a brick and mortar store, we don't want to talk to you. And then you go away with your head between your legs and you say, okay, I'm not working with that company. So a lot of people have had this idea of opening up a retail store to sort of overcome that objection. And we actually went out and did it. We got a very beautiful store on the Jersey Shore. It's kind of like the Hamptons of the Jersey Shore where we are. It's a very affluent neighborhood and a very upscale strip center. And when we tell people the address and we tell people the name of the shopping center that we're in, it's like, oh, we'd love to sell to you guys. It's great. Let us come see the store. Send us pictures of your store. I'd love to have my products in your store. And then we're doing a lot in the fashion and footwear industries because those are the fastest growing categories on Amazon. And just as a point of reference, we sold 10,000 pairs of shoes last month on Amazon at an average selling price of $65. So it's 650 grand in sales just in shoes. Now, if you think about shoes, they shouldn't be selling so well over the internet, right? But there's companies, I was talking to a lady yesterday, ShoeBuy, there's a company, ShoeBuy.com. They do over $300 million. Zappos is $1 billion company. So obviously there are people buying fashion and footwear over the internet. So what we found is a lot of these companies, they'll be willing to work with us if we have a retail store, if we have a standalone website, and then we could also sell it on Amazon. Now, some companies still won't let you sell on Amazon, and that's okay. But there's thousands and thousands of companies. You don't only have to sell Sony and Nike and the 5 top brands that everyone could name off the top of their head. When we got into the shoe business, we found out we did a comprehensive study of Zappos' website. Zappos happens to be owned by Amazon, so it's kind of ironic. There's over 1,000 different shoe brands that are on the market right now. Most people in this room, including me before I got into this business, couldn't name more than 20, right? So this is 1,000 different companies. Each has their own customers, their cult followings, their raving fans, whatever you want to call them. And it's amazing that if you put a product out there on Amazon, it sells. If you've done your research and you've done your homework and you bought it at the right price, everything sells. Q4, rising tide lifts all boats. So things will sell much faster in Q4, 3 times faster for us. Last year, we did exactly the same amount of business in the last 3 months of the year as we did the first 9 months of the year, which is mind-boggling if you think about it. Obviously, if we get into categories like toys or gift items, those will go up 10, 20-fold rather than just triple. So we just opened the retail store a few months ago. Maria, who's here, being the videographer, is the leader of the retail store. She has tons of retail experience, having had her own stores in New Jersey for many years. And she and I went to Magic, which is the trade show here in Vegas for fashion and footwear. We've gone to Toy Fair. We've gone to all the trade shows that you can think of, home and kitchen. And we're literally opening hundreds and hundreds of accounts for us and our clients. And we're able to buy through these accounts very easily now. And what we're also doing is we're doing it strategically so that, if we're dealing with high-end brands, we're carrying other comparable high-end brands so that they're synergistic. Yes. Somebody else? Last question? Anyone? Anyone? Yes. Great tips for sourcing. I'm sorry, we're out of time. No. We buy things that sell quickly. We buy things that sell profitably. We do a ton of retail arbitrage. So we go to the outlet stores. We go to TJ Maxx. We go to Marshalls, Burlington, Ross, Target, Walmart, Sears, Kmart, Home Depot, Lowe's. Any retail store you can think of, we've sourced that. Online arbitrage, even better. You have thousands of websites that most people have never heard of. We're able to find products on there, buy it there, sell it on Amazon. Wholesale, there's thousands and thousands of suppliers. Get trade show exhibitor lists. Go to trade shows if it's not too cost prohibitive. Really learn a market, learn a niche, and really own that market space. And then you could diversify into other categories. Closeouts and liquidations, I'm not a big fan of teaching that to our clients. There's a lot of risk involved, and there's a lot of authenticity issues and chain of custody issues. And then there's private label. We just launched a private label product, and we have clients in the audience that have launched private label products, and we've done very well with them. It's a different game because you have to build a brand on Amazon. You may have to give away product for reviews. You may have to do sponsored ads. You have to get the right pictures, the right descriptions, the right keywords. And it's a different game, private label, but we have ourselves and clients have been very successful doing private label. So sourcing is never going to be your problem if you know what you're doing. You're going to run into other problems like running out of money or running out of time, but you're never going to run out of product selling on Amazon. There's hundreds of millions of products on Amazon, and if you're not finding product to sell for a profit, it's not Amazon that's the problem. Okay. If anyone has any other questions, my name is Sam Cohen, Amazon Consulting Experts. We have a booth outside. We do free consultations. Maria's here, Daniel's here. We have a lot of clients here if you want to ask any questions. And I'll be here till the end of the conference. Thank you very much.